Well, hey. Let me see if I can push the right buttons here. Is this going to come on? Well, it has. There's a bit of a white border around it, but it could have been worse. It could have been a lot worse. Why don't I just do something to make it amazing? Can I make it amazing? I don't know. Maybe we'll just have to have a whiteboard around it. Because I should have set it up beforehand, shouldn't I, really? What was I thinking? I could make it go bigger and like this. It doesn't. Oh, is that? That might be it. It's because I've resized my screen. You see, I'm looking at different screens. That's it. That's it. Hello, everybody. Right. Hello to Dr. Ford, Icy Diamond, Exploring with Kim and Dan, Simon B.A., Buenos Aires, Hidden History with Ray. Hello. You're up late, sir. Bloody hell. How come you're up this late? You've got work in the morning, haven't you? Surely. Peed off. I'm here, sir. Right, okay. Explore with Kim and Dan. We've done that. Sorry, Matthew Bellamy. East Coast Vagrant. The Urban Legend. I was just on his live a minute ago, actually, and he's come on to mine now. We'll see whether he's got work in the morning. God alive. Oh. And Kevin Rathbone. Robert. Lee James. Matt L. So, yes, there's a few people in the chat channel. Oh, I'll just, before I forget, what I should do is I push this button and then I press, is it this one? Yay, there we are. Yeah, because it doesn't come up automatically. I just wish it would just come up by itself, but it doesn't. So here you are in glorious over-the-top colour. I've got lots of zits. This is an old one. I got loads of zits on my nose for some reason. I think it's got something to do with large amounts of Pepsi, which contains sugar. And it just plays havoc, and I usually get lots of spots, which I then pick ruthlessly, and they take ages to go away because I get little red marks then. So, but that's why I've got spots on my face at the moment, unless I'm dying of something, which I don't think I am. I've just been. See, I normally cut sugar out of my diet, and I use stevia, which is a natural sweetener, but then because I'm not used to sugar. If I have anything with sugar in it, it immediately turns into zits on my face. So anyway, I don't know why I'm sharing this with you, but as vain as I am, I don't like having all these like red spots. And there's like, what's this now, see? It looks like, what's that? Is that a bloody varicose vein? I don't know. It's called getting old. Parcel tape. I forgot about that. Because I'm colourblind. This'll do, won't it? This'll do. Let's get some parcel tape. That'll do. Because I'm colourblind, look. There. Job done. Sorted. Just say I had an accident. Go for a waxing. Oh my God. I tell you what, I wish there was some way you could get rid of facial hair so you don't have to shave. I would go through a bit of pain to have that. That would be good. No shaving. And no shaver rash from shaving. But anyway, let's not get crazy silly and start being silly, because I'm going to be a practical boy tonight. I think I'm going to be practical boy. So if somebody wants to tell me something, it might be very important. Hang on, it might be something like, your stream's not working. Your stream's not working. Hang on, what the hell? No, they're all deciding to send me messages now, which is a little bit late, but there we go. Okay. No, I'm not getting it like told that something's wrong with the stream. So, right. Tonight is going to be about Insta 360 cameras. I haven't got the other Insta 360 here, but I've got this one, which is the one I used to use. Because I've got another one now which is modular and you can actually plug lenses onto it and things. So this is my old 360 camera. Not bad. Going to be selling it soon if anybody's interested. Whoops. Oh, might have my telephone number on it, but I don't know. Yeah, you probably work it out. I'll have to edit it. Bollocks. Anyway, right. So that's 360 camera. It's got two lenses on it, and it basically allows you to film at any angle which you like, and it stabilizes the horizon. So the beauty of this is, and I'll try and keep my telephone number out of the shot now, the beauty of this is that I could have this on my head, or you could be holding it on a stick, and it doesn't matter if I tilt it on its side, the horizon still stays the same. So I could turn it upside down and the horizon still stays the same. I could turn it flat. The horizon is still there. Even though these lenses are not pointing in the direction, it doesn't matter. It's seeing the horizon out of the edge of this lens, because it's such a wide angle lens, it's seeing out of the side of these two lenses, so it still sees in that direction. Crazy technology. So it doesn't matter where you are and what you're doing, it always sees straight to the horizon. Plus, it has a compass in it. And the compass means, provided you haven't got any magnetic things nearby, which we know all about, don't we? Remember that one? As long as you don't have any magnetic sources nearby, it knows which way is north. So even if you turn the camera around, it still points that way. So if I turn the camera like that, it still points that way. So I can turn it upside down in any direction I wish, it still looks that way. Okay? So there are advantages to this, because it means that when you are filming with one of these cameras, you can have it on top of your head, or you can stick it on the dashboard of your car, or you could stick it on a front of a bike or something like that. But even if you had it on the handlebars and you're moving the handlebars like that, it'll still be pointing forwards the whole time. Okay, and I'm going to show you this to prove that it really does do this. But what I'm going to do, because the camera is so easy to use, you just turn it on and you press record. Right? It really is very simple to operate. The little bit that's more, here we go. People, I have 2 streams on, what? What? Matt, you have 2 streams people in other. What? I don't know what you mean. Anyway, right. Somebody come in. I'm going to send you the chat thing, and you can come in. I have 2 streams doing what? It doesn't make no sense. Speak bloody English. I have 2 streams, people in other. I have 2 streams, people in other. You know, can you speak English, please? Grammar. I don't understand what you mean. Right. The Secret Vault, it's a scheduled video reminder, mate. 5 people think this live hasn't started. What is, where's the other video stream? Really? Oh. Well, which stream is this then? I don't bloody know. Right, I see what they mean now. Why is it started 2 streams then? That's weird. I'll tell them all to come over here now. I don't know what's going on. Hang on a minute. I don't know what's going on there. Hang on a minute. YouTube. Hang on a second. Hang on. So there's 99 people on this stream, and I can't see any of the stream. Hang on a minute. YouTube Studio. Yeah, right. So I don't know. Anyway. I don't know. So tell him to come over here then. Go in the other stream and tell him to come over here. I don't know where. Most have filtered over here now. I don't even know where the other one is. Hang on a minute. Because I don't know what's going on. Let me just put it on this thingy a minute. Let me put it on here. And I'll go on over to my YouTube, because I don't want, sometimes there's things that come up on there that you don't want, so I will have to make sure that things don't come up that we don't want. So here we go. Where is it? Isn't there live? Dashboard, content, live. Live? Right, it should be. If there's 2 streams, it'll be here. Oh, right, okay. So live. Yeah, there is 2. How's that then? So terribly sorry. One needs to be deleted then. Delete it. I think this is it. Right. There we go. Sorry about that. So I've deleted the other one now. Okay. Right. Yeah. Yeah, indeed. So, right, where were we? Let's come back on this. There we go. No. Sort of. Sort of. Yeah, there you go. Right. So anyway, right, the idea is behind this. I'm going to bring up now in a minute. Let's see if we want to invite somebody on, because whilst I'm doing this, I'm not going to be reading people's comments. And if they've got something they want to say, if somebody who can monitor the comments wants to come on, try to keep it comment related, i.e. if you chat to me and distract me from the purpose of doing the Insta 360, which is what I'm here to do, then I might say, can we keep it on track, please? Because I want to try and focus, it certainly in the first half of the show anyway, on the Insta 360. So there's the StreamYard link. If anybody wants to come on, by all means, but be a bit of a kind of secretary for me for the comments, because I will not be reading the comments properly. I'm well known for this. So anyway, if anybody wants to donate, it should make that sort of ding sound, so I will know that you've donated. But other than that, I am not going to know what you're saying in the chat channel, because that'll draw my attention over to it then if I hear that noise. So there we are. I now have text on my face. Oh, I do, don't I? I do actually. What's that? What the hell is... Where did that come from? What's this? Where the hell has that come from? What is that? Bad gateway? What? You've got a bad gateway across my face. Okay. Well, I don't know what that is. Let me turn it off then. Does that turn it off? Browser? No. What turns it off then? That turns it off. But why doesn't it turn off? Oh, it's gone now. So it must have been that then. It was that. Oh, it's gone now. There we are. All right. We're all good. Sorry. Yeah, thank you for that. Hello, Dennis. Thank you for your $1.99. Did it make a noise? Because I was totally engrossed then in trying to sort out that problem. Did it make the noise? Did it go jilling? I don't think it did it? Maybe that's what it was trying to tell me, that it's not connecting to the server. Maybe it's not connecting to the server correctly. And then, yeah. Piss poor quality now. Piss poor quality. Oh, for fuck's sake. No, it didn't make any noises. Right, okay, so it's screwed then, basically. I don't know. Are we going to spend the whole night buggering about with StreamYard and multiple streams and blah, 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 or are we just going to get on with it? Let's just get on with it. Right. Okay, so here we go. Let's quality's fine, somebody else has said. Right, yeah, there's no noise. I don't know what that is. I'll have to sort it out again because it's technical and I'm going to have to go into screens and you have to sort of connect it to things and do all sorts of crap. So, I don't know. Dennis has sent me a $1.99 test. So just get on with it. Right, yeah. Right, so anyway, let's go full screen, which I think is this one, on here. So you can now see the whole screen. And I'm going to take you to a folder where I've got, these are the files that come off the camera. So these are the files that come off the Insta 360. So I'm going to double click one of these files. Oh, tell a lie, I don't really want to do that because that is my slow USB hard drive. So let me stop that, get rid of it. But it's probably going to have to load it up now anyway because I've done it. So if I could just stop that would be really good. But no, I'll have to wait now. I'm getting noises. No, hang on. I just say end process. Right. The best thing I can do, look, is go on this hard drive here and use one of these files because it's quicker. It's a quicker hard drive. So there we are. So this is Josh underground in the copper mines in Coniston Lakes. So this is the movie file that's come off the camera, okay, and it loads up into this program called the Insta Studio 2020, okay. Now you've got two ways of viewing it, so I'm going to skip along a little bit so you can see a bit of it, yeah. So, oh, actually, oh, you guys haven't even seen this yet. No, nobody's seen this yet. This is totally, right. This is us underground at box tunnels. So nobody's seen this, so it's actually not what I thought it was. It's not the caves in Coniston. So up here at the top, you've got two ways of viewing this. There's the view in 360, which is looking a bit weird as it does. It stretches the image, but that's perfectly fine because this is what you upload to YouTube. And it looks weird now, but when you get it on YouTube, it comes out so you can spin the image around. And you can have a look at it on your phone and your tablet and all that sort of stuff. If you go to this viewing mode, you can edit it as if you were doing a video on YouTube. And what you do is you set the camera angle in any position you want to. And that's the beauty of the Insta360. It's like having the ability to reframe the shot later. So as you can see, somebody's filming me, but I can have a look at what's going on behind me. And I can have a look at what's going on the floor. And I can have a look at what's going on the ceiling. And I can choose the shot I want. So if we place the cursor somewhere and we put a keyframe in there, that locks this in that angle and zoom. So if I say that's my start position, then I hit the space bar to press play. Okay. That's me drinking. So say now, for instance, I wanted to see me drinking that Coke. Now normally if you had a GoPro on your head, you aren't going to be able to see. Let's just have a little go. I got to zoom in here. Oh, right. Let's just zoom back a bit. If you had a GoPro on your head, you wouldn't be able to choose the angle that you see. You'd have to point your camera at it, wouldn't you? You'd have to point the camera at the thing that you're looking at. But as you saw just here, if I press play, now I started drinking a bottle of drink, yeah? But I can change that angle because I can come back here, I can come like this, and I can put a keyframe in, and I can say, let's point the camera down. So now I can see more of the bottle, and I can see me drinking it. Okay? And then when I want to go back to the normal shot, I put another keyframe in, and I say, let's now move back up to there. So if we watch the whole thing, okay, you see me point the camera down, and then you see me point the camera back up. And it's all very seamless. Now, there's somebody's coming in the right side of the shot. That's Carl. But I want to see Carl. Let's say I want to see Carl. So because he's coming to the right-hand part of the shot, I'm missing him. So let's reframe this shot. Okay, I'm going to move it to the right now, and if I play the whole thing, it's going to show you pointing down, pointing back up, and right at the end it's going to turn sideways to see Carl come in. So now there we go. But now I want to reframe it so Dan's back in the center, so I can press the button and I can reframe it so Dan's back in the center, so you don't miss anything. Okay, so
now let's go on the opinion on that one, because you've said the classic, which is they hold the roof up.
Now there we are. We're talking about this thing up here. We're talking about this stick, you know, this piece of wood that appears to be holding the ceiling up, people think. So why don't we focus on it? They're talking about it. Why don't we focus on it? So let's go back, press play.
Let's go on the opinion
now,
on that one. Because
why don't I then put a keyframe in here, bring it into the center of the screen, and using my scroll button on the mouse, scroll forward to zoom in, so we can see more of what we're talking about. Okay, so let's play that back. So we've got Carl comes in from the right.
Holding the roof up.
Now let's
Okay.
let's go on the opinion on that one.
There we are. Zoom in.
You've said the classic, which is
And
they
have a
hold
look
the
at
roof
that.
up. I heard it different.
Now, so people know what we're talking about now. Let's zoom back, so we get everybody back in the shot. Okay. So there we are.
You've said the classic, which is they
So
hold
now
the
we
roof
get
up.
everyone in the shot.
I heard it different. You heard
Yeah.
the alternate theory
Yeah.
is they could never hold the
Okay,
roof
so
up.
this is how the software works. You can reframe your shots. Now, say something dropped on the back of my head whilst they're all filming me there. Say something tapped me on the back of the head, and I went, "Oh, what was that?" I can now look behind me and find out what it was. So I can go, "Oh, what was that just fell on the back of my head?" Yeah. So let's see what happens then. So
Different.
we
heard
zoom
the
back.
alternate theory is
And I
they
look
could never
behind
hold
me
the
to
roof
find
up.
out what
They're
was
not
that
there
that
for
fell on the
purpose.
back of my head. And once I've discovered what it was that fell on the back of my head, we can then turn back and start filming to the front again. So you see, it allows you to change your shot when
They
you
could
get
never
home.
hold the roof up. They're not there for that purpose. They're there to make a noise if the roof starts collapsing. Because
So it allows you to film in all different directions. Now, so I don't know what you think about that. I think that's pretty cool. I'll just bring me back up on screen a minute because I'm just going to call up some bits and pieces. Well, actually saying that, I'm not. What I'm going to do is I'll bring that up a second. I just want to make sure that I'm not going to reveal stuff that hasn't been... that nobody knows we've done yet, because if I show you my folder list, there's going to be things in there which haven't yet been revealed to the public, so I've got to make sure I don't reveal that. So hang on a sec. I could have sworn that some of this stuff was the boat with Josh, but I copied the wrong files. I want to show you some daytime footage, you see. I want to show you some daytime quality footage, not just... there we go. That's what I wanted. So let me just copy this across to my... fast hard drive. Okay. Now, the thing about that footage is that it's night footage, really. It's in a cave. And as it's in a cave, you're getting a lot of grain. So it's not ideal to be showing you that sort of stuff. So I'm going to show you some daytime stuff, just to show you that the camera can be good quality, because there's obviously a lot of grain on that stuff. Oh, I'm not getting this... hang on, let's just move that up a bit so it doesn't cut off the writing. So how is everybody tonight? As he's going to blow his nose because his nose is starting to get blocked up because I've been doing snuff. Ah, sorry. We're a totally professional show here. I'm going to use some of this now to unblock my nose. Wow, there you go. So now that's copied across there. I can then bring it up on the screen. So let's bring that up on screen. Which was the early one? That's right, this one. Let's try that then.
Oh no, we disconnected! Come here!
Oh, there we go. So let's have a look at the whole screen. Oh, no, I thought that was the file. Hang on. What am I? Oh, this one, sorry. There we go. So bring up the, this is the file off the 360 camera. It'll load itself up into the computer now so we can have a look at it. When it decides it's ready. Are you ready, computer? Is it going to do it? Just thinking about something. It does take a little while to load these up sometimes. How big is that file then? 9 gigs this file is. Come on. Is he going to do it? I don't know if it's going to do it. That's annoying, isn't it? Why is it not doing it? Bastard. Double click again. It's probably because there's missing bits of the file, I expect. I tell you what. Let me go into the folder. It's not going to be good though. I know this is going to be not clever if I try to do this. Have I got anything on here that's better? Hang on. I've got some stuff here. No. Bethel Quarry in 360. Oh God, not very organised here. Hang on a second, let me just bring you onto this screen because I don't want to show you stuff that you're not supposed to see in that folder. We copied a couple of more files across. It's probably just one odd file that was misbehaving. So 360C, right. Let's copy a few of these across. Take a few seconds. I'll read out some of your chat stuff whilst these files are copying across. Hopefully they're not going to take too long. It says about 6 minutes. Let's bring me back up on screen then. Did I put anything for anyone to come in if they wish to chat? If they wish to chat, they can come in and chat using this thing. And then you can be my secretary and tell me if anybody's asking me anything important. Let's read your messages. It's got 6 minutes to copy these files so that I can use them on the fast hard drive, not on my USB external slow hard drive, because it just goes crazy if you try to do that. Ducks Goes Quack, he says he's still envious that I've got my hands on an RTX 3090. Well, here's the thing. Yeah. It's a great card, but it's being strangled by the fact that... oh, somebody wants to come in. Here we are. Who's this? Cyrus Carter. Hello, Cyrus.
I'll do.
Not too bad. Not too bad. And yourself?
Yeah.
Mm.
Cool. I think I've got the window open.
Hang on. I'm not even on my screen, showing my screen at the moment. There we go. Here's Cyrus
There we
Carter.
go.
So,
I had 2 windows open like last time.
oh God, I get really confused with this stuff sometimes. It's like 70. It's like out of an octopus, you know, octopus arms.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm just having a look at the chat channel, make sure nobody said anything that I need to take notice of. Sounds like you've got a beer there, have you?
I have indeed.
Well, what are you? Oh, Heineken, nice.
Yeah. 4, 6 of them.
I got some Kronenbergs actually. Ducks Go Quack says normally makes him feel 6. Strangely looks better than normal. I don't know what he's referring to. Perhaps it's the 360 stuff. I don't know. I see this on someone's channel. Don't know who. Have you done box mine? Yeah, you've probably seen Dan. He released a piece of footage where he threw a banger and let smoke off in underground box mine, I think it was, with Josh.
Is that what that was?
I think so, yeah. Well, he did it twice. He did it in a tunnel when we were there with the boat, and it was so loud and so concussive that my vision blanked out for a second. My brain just went boom. Yeah. And I literally don't think I was seeing anything for like a second, and then my brain just switched back on. It's literally like so loud, my brain just shut down for a second. It was that bad. So he's a little bugger with his doing things like that. I said, don't ever do that in a mine. Although he did the smoke in box mine, he said, "Oh, I won't do it in a mine. I won't do that." He let the smoke off in the box mine because it would have probably brought the bloody roof down if he'd done that with a banger. But yes. So how are we doing on the copies? 90% complete, and I am 90% through my beer. So I probably need a top up in a sec.
I've got 90% left.
He's 90% left. Do you want to say hello to people in the channel and whilst I go and get another one? You answer some questions for me or find out what people are talking about.
So is the chat on the right the same as the normal chat on YouTube? Because I'm not on YouTube at the moment, am I? The chat comments. It's not the same as YouTube, innit? It was on YouTube last time. It looks a bit different now. You don't want to open another window, do you?
Because everybody always wants to know where Angel is.
Where is she?
She won't be long, I'm sure.
Treats.
Are you going to come up? You going to come up? Maybe she didn't realise I brought these then. You got treaties? Tweets.
So as you were talking about the 360 cam then, I just thought it was all locked on, all 4 of them, and that was it. I didn't know you could move around in the edit.
Yeah, that's right. That's the thing I wanted to show people, you see, because it's unless you actually see what it's all about, you know, it doesn't make sense. Because somebody says, like, well, what do you mean you can turn the camera around? It's like, you know, it's imagine you've got a cameraman standing on your head, and later on you can change the position that he was pointing at. You can say, no, that's not the shot I wanted. I want this direction. No, I wanted that direction. And you can change it, but you can change it in any direction, and you can recompose the shot. So if you've got the wrong, if you point it, it's like, imagine if a meteorite came down in the sky over there, but you're filming that way, but the meteorite came down over there. It don't matter, because you can go, oh, at the time everybody went, look, you can turn the camera and see it. You don't miss it because you're filming everything.
Did you have that on when you were in the boat when Dan let that off in the tunnel?
I can't remember if I had the 360 on. I think I did, actually, the 360.
I've seen it, I don't know if it was just someone who just spam-armed the camera.
That's right. I think it might have been the 360 was on, and what I did is I literally pointed it in the direction where Dan had done it, or something like that. I can't remember what it was now. Do you want a treat? She says, let me out, because if no treats, it's too hot in here for her at the moment, because I've got the heating on, hence the door is closed, which normally the door isn't closed, but it's getting to that time of year now where it's just getting so cold I've had to put the heating on. So the dog's like, I ain't hanging around this shit, it's too hot. So yeah, literally you can, later on you can zoom in and zoom out, and you can point the camera in any direction you want, and you can decide if it looks fisheye like the classic Gopro, or you can straighten it out. I'll show people that now. And you can also speed it up and you can slow it down. And so you can kind of do some special effects stuff as well with it, because it locks onto somewhere on the horizon. So you could be walking up a hill and doing this, zigzagging and walking up the hill, but the camera could be seeing the mountain. So as you're going, you can actually say, well, don't point at the hill, now do another shot where you're pointing at the mountain. So you could actually see the mountain changing angle because you're pointing out across the valley at the hill, and then you can go back and look at you walking, and then you can look back out and you can speed that up so you can see the hill diminishing in height as you climb it, you know. And I did this with a boat the other day because we locked it onto a spit fort in the distance, and I sped it up so the sea was going psh, but even though I'm turning my head, the camera is locked on to that, so it doesn't matter which way I'm turning, the camera's locked on in that direction. And then I was able to say, right, we'll speed it up, and then boats are passing us at high speed, zoom, 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 and I can change the angle so I can see the boats coming past us, and I can follow them as we go past them, and then get back onto the main sort of locked on view. It's quite interesting, actually. I put it out, didn't I, in the NAB video, the NAB stuff.
I know where that would come in handy. I don't know if they used them, but I know I'm not changing the subject. We'll stay on the subject. But I'm not a massive Ghost Hunter fan. I watch them, and I watch all the channels. I'm still a see it myself. I won't believe it, but anyway, it's entertainment. So why won't every single person in the room have one of them? Because you always go, oh, there it is. We've just missed it.
Yeah.
Damn. We just missed the poltergeist.
Oh, yeah,
well,
that's right.
If you had the camera, you know what I mean?
It's a good point, actually, because I was going to sell this, but what I could do is I could take the lenses off and actually take the infrared filter off the thing, and this could be used as a night infrared. I didn't think of that, actually. I wonder if I could modify this to become an infrared night ghosty thing, so I could wear it on my head, and if something happens in some other place, we'll have the whole shots.
And the only reason I mention that, I'm not like a full believer, in case anyone in the chat will, well, I do. I've not been on a hunt. I've done EVP recordings. I've got a little Tascam here. I do them all the time, but I'm not a believer, you know. So I'm on the fence.
Well, sometimes, you know, you need a trigger event, you know, or something. You know, maybe if you go out with some people that are into this sort of stuff and it triggers you and you start to sort of become more of a believer, then things will start to happen. Because I think that sometimes I've gone out with people who are very sort of like, you know, shut down in many ways, and they don't have the experiences that we have.
You've got to be at least open before you get there, yeah, of course. And I would be. If someone invited me or I went to a place, I wouldn't go in there, oh, this is all shite. I wouldn't be like that. I'd totally like get into it beforehand.
Yeah, Melissa Jones Paranormal says she's a believer. By the way, if anybody has donated, I haven't seen them. I'm just going to scroll up now. Not in a while. Dennis did the last one and it was a test. So, yeah. Right, well, let's get back onto this software. Now I've copied these files across then. Let's have a little look. What have I copied over here then? Into Josh something boat. Yeah. Right, let's see if we can get one of them working then. Fire up this software. Is he going to work this time? Come on, baby. Come on. Come on, you know you want to. Come on. Come on, come on, come on, come on. It does take a little while to kind of fire up sometimes. It's not doing very well actually. It might be because I'm doing this streaming. It doesn't like firing up these files. I've never had this before, by the way. This is completely new territory to not have this software work, and it's not doing anything. It's doing nothing in the background. The software is not doing a single solitary thing. Oh dear. Let's try another one then. It's got to be one of these files is going to work. I can't believe this. I've come on here to show you how this software works and the bloody software won't fire up. Oh, it's just typical. That is so bloody typical. I've never had this problem before. No.
It is a good little handy tool though, isn't it?
No, it's not having it. It's not having it. That is unbelievable. Oh dear.
So what are the prices on them 360s, and how big it is? So that one you had then, is that like a handheld one, or is that, can you attach that to helmets and stuff?
Oh, this one looks like it's doing something. Ah, there we are. Oh, but it's still down the bloody mines. See, I didn't want to do the mines because the mines are dark and they need to be brightened up, and I do that later on in Premiere. Hang on. There's got to be something here that's going to work. There we go.
Here, then?
No.
Oh, now this is secret footage. You're not meant to be seeing this yet either. I don't know. I don't know if this is a good idea or not. Go on. I'll show you this one.
Well, let's take a.
Right. I don't know. Let me try a different one. This will be coming across on the boat. Because I don't know exactly what's in these. There we go. That's better. Right. Okay. So this is daytime, so obviously you can see the footage a lot better. Let me just get you up on a full screen so you can see what I'm doing with the controls. There we go. Right. So you can see me now. I've just started the camera up, and it's actually on the helmet on the front. But even though I'm moving the helmet around, notice that the horizon stays in exactly the same place, that it's still pointing at me, even though I pull the helmet up onto my head, and watch the way the angle of the helmet changes, yeah, as I pull it onto my head, and notice that it doesn't matter, the camera still points in the same direction. Watch now as I pull the helmet onto my head. Notice nothing changes.
No.
It still points exactly at the horizon, yeah. So this is the beauty of it, you see. Now it looks a bit weird because you can see my arm, and right round the other side you can see my other arm, and it comes round here and pops in here. This is how 360 works. It looks very weird, and it went before you upload it to YouTube, but this is what the 360 image looks like. That's my hand, that's my other hand, and round here is my hand. It goes round there. But if we go into the re-editing mode, so we want to re-edit it, now we can pick our angle. So in full 360, you see everything, which includes Josh's head and Bucky's head, yeah? But if we go into this reframing mode, where we can point the camera, as you see, Josh, Bucky, ready? Now you see just Josh and Bucky. So it's just like having a GoPro now, okay? But except you can turn the GoPro all the way around and look up and look down, okay? So I can look down and turn around. So I can put the boat like that, and you can zoom in on things. So I can zoom in on stuff. and I can zoom out really far. I can go all the way, so you can see that whole, that's the whole of the lens there, you can see, right? But that's not so bad. And you can choose whether you want to have it in Gopro bend mode, which you see these things on the edge. See the edges of the screen are kind of bent as they go round. Everything bends in like a fisheye, they call it, yeah. So everything bends, but you can remove that if you want. There's a mode here which will remove that and straighten things on the edges. Okay, so as they come in, they stay straight, but it has a strange kind of look. It has a strange kind of look to it. It's not so bad when you zoom in, but it sort of stretches things on the edges of the screen as you move around, but it stops this bending effect. Okay, so what I could do now is I could say, right, as we go, I want the shot to start there. So let's play it. So there we are. So shot starts there.
Drake's Island, and then the breakwater.
So who am I talking to? You see, who am I talking to? I'm talking to somebody who's off shot. You can't see who they are. So if I put a keyframe in, why don't we talk? Why don't we move, turn around, and find out who it is I'm talking to? It's probably this guy up here. Oh no, it's not a guy. Is it a guy? Oh yes, two people up there. Oh no, that's our guys. Who's asking? Oh, it's this guy. There we are. It's this guy. So I can zoom in on who it is, and we can.
And then the breakwater fort, taking some photos.
Yeah. Now those marks you can see are dirt and scratches on the lens, which is why I kind of like not using the camera quite as much anymore. But there we are. So now I've finished talking to this guy, I can retrain the camera back on us and put him off to the side. Okay.
Not using your cage anymore.
So if we watch the whole thing from the beginning, you can see it starts off with me putting my camera on. Okay.
Free for all for the life jacket, bro. No.
Okay. And it zooms in on the chap when he asks.
Drake's Island, and then the breakwater fort, taking some photos.
Okay. Let's fast forward until we get somewhere where the boat is actually going. You know, let's get the engine going. Right, we're actually moving there. So the thing is now, what we want to do is we want to put a point in where we're actually pointing in the direction we're going. So I suppose reversing the boat, we want to see the reverse angle, so we want to see us going backwards. So let's watch that as we go backwards.
Connect myself on this. You ready, Ian? You all good?
Okay, so we're going backwards. Now I can put a point in and turn the camera so we see where we're going. So you see the back end of the boat turning around. Okay, and I can continue that so we still see where we are going, turning around. And then when we're ready to go into forward mode, I can put a point in and spin forwards so we're now ready to see us going forwards. So let's see how that shot works. Okay, so I'll go back here. So we see, come back here. So
right, connect myself on this. You ready, Ian? You all good? Okay, so there's the shot of us backwards. Then I spin it around so we see forward shot. Yeah.
For moving forwards.
So you all know how to inflate your own safety life jackets if something goes wrong.
Turn the sound of the video down. But there we are. It's pointing. Even though the boat is turning, it's pointing at a compass heading, you see. So the camera locks onto a compass heading. Okay? So even though the boat is turning around, it stays locked on to that direction. So even though we're coming out of the harbour, if we zoom along, we're still pointing in that direction. And if we come along, we're still pointing that direction. As we come along, the boat is turning, we're still pointing roughly in that direction. It does drift over time a little bit, but it's generally, it's got that sort of direction locked in. So that's one way of doing it. The other way you can do it is to kind of go into semi-GoPro mode, which is you say lock the direction, which means it will now point where the front of my head is. So as I turn my head, it will follow the turn of my head.
Okay, you put the pipe in your mouth, you blow, you can re-inflate it.
Okay.
So now it's, as you can see, it's following my head more as I turn. It's smoothing it out, so it doesn't sort of, it's not jagged turns, but it's smoothing out the turns. But it's following the front of my head now rather than compass point north, as it were, you know, or compass point direction, whichever way we've gone. But it depends how you want to work. You can either have it sort of looking forward with you, and then you can change the angle, or you can say set it to compass point and then change the angle as you go. So, I mean, I could be focusing in on Josh here, you know, and sort of like keeping an eye on him.
Honestly, it's a nice day to even be a pirate, for real.
There we are. And you'll probably see that shot that he took when he puts his video out eventually. So, and then he's finished doing that now, so I can come to another angle, which would be, let's look at where we're going. So let's come back to the front of the boat and watch that. You see, and even though the boat's turning and my head's turning, we're still locked in that direction. You see, even though the boat's turning and my head's turning, we're still locked in that direction. It's crazy, isn't it?
Get ourselves onto the plane. I'll ask somebody to move forward a bit. You can move up to about here. And
Is that so? If you bring the footage in, is that 4 lots of data?
No, it's all one file.
It's one big file.
One big file. It's all in this image here. It's all in this 360 image. When you go to this view, everything is in here. But when you go into this mode, it just looks at a small square area of it. And it manages to recompose it from a small square area of that, which is this. Now, it's 5.7K, the camera, so it's quite high resolution. But realistically, to get it to be 4K, in any shot you're looking at, they're going to have to make these cameras eventually. They're going to have to be about 10K, I think, these cameras, just to get a 4K in any angle you look. 4K, 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 4K. But what you're looking at here is more like a 1080p. You know, so even though the whole shot here is 5.7K, when you zoom in on it and you move around it, you become like 2K. So that's 2K, 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 you know. So what they'd have to do is make this image 10K of resolution so that all of this is 4K, 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 and 4K up and 4K down, you know. It's like, now you notice as well, there's these seam lines, they call them joins or seam lines, or stitch lines as well, I think they call them. I can't see it at the moment. You tend to see it more when you're moving. But when you move, if you turn around, you'll actually see you'll see like a weird line. It's not this is muck on the lens or marks or scratches, but you see this like weird line. I can't see it at the moment. I think I saw it just then. Hang on. There. It's about there.
Yeah,
see it moving around? Yeah, it's around there. So as you turn the camera, the angle on the edge, it gets a little bit out of focus and a little bit, there's the seam line. You just saw it then. It's over here at the moment. But yeah. So you see these seam lines. But what I could do now is I could actually say, right, we know we're going down here. This is the direction we want to go. So I'm going to put a keyframe in there, and then I can speed the footage up at this point. I can say, right, let's, how do I do it now? Is there a way to do it? Time shift, that's right, time shift. And what we do is we say, I want to speed up this area. And you put it down on the timeline and you say, I want to speed this section up. So let's see how it goes if I drop that. Oh, I've done it wrong. Let's try it again. So I want to speed up this section. There we are. So when I come to this area now, it's going to be 2 times the speed. So if I play it, then it's going to go double speed in that area. Right, now I can make that even faster by clicking on it and making it maybe 6 speed. So if I press play in this area now, then it's going to be faster. But see the boats coming past me quickly? Imagine trying to be on a GoPro and seeing that. Your head's going to be going all over the place. You're never going to see the boat. You're never going to catch it because it's going to be going all over the bloody place. But with this, you know, I can lock the image onto a spot now. I can say, right, say this little spot up here is where I want to be, and it's right down the center of the image. So I'll say, right, let's keep that in the center. So as I press play, if it drifts, like it's drifting to the left, drift to the left, drift to the left, drift to the left, I can put another point in and I can recenter it in the center again. So roughly down the center. Okay. Then if I go back and play that now, it won't drift as we go. So now it's kind of locked on. See how steady it is now? Oh, you've got people coming into your house late.
No, it's my phone, sorry.
So let's let it play, and it'll drift a bit. See, the compass is drifting a little bit slowly. So I'll put another point in, and I'll drag that point back into the center of the screen again. And this compensates for the drift then. So if we watch the footage now, we can high speed it and lock onto a point on the horizon. So we can get, you know, boats passing us at high speed, but we're still locked on to our target in the distance. No matter what the boat's doing, as you can see, the boat's bouncing around, I'm bouncing around, I'm turning, yeah, but the horizon's completely locked on. So it's needs a little trim again. So let's press the keyframe, move it back into the center, roughly like that.
Are all 4 lenses locked? There's like no gimbal or nothing in
No,
internal and stuff?
it's actually only 2 lenses. It's only 2 lenses. 2 lenses sees everything. Yeah.
So one either side, and that's it.
Yeah, 180 degrees and 180 degrees. Yeah.
Wow.
So now we've done 4 correction points there to keep it locked on the horizon. And within reason, there's a little bit of, you know, a little bit of motion, but overall, you can. This is known as a hyperlapse because it's a time lapse, but it's also locking onto something. They call it a hyperlapse. So starting to drift again a bit there. It's moving off a bit again. So let's move it back in. Now we're mostly interested in Drake's Island here because we're going to go and see Drake's Island. Now that's Drake's Island there. So why don't we make Drake's Island the focus of our attention? So we'll bring Drake's Island now into the center at this point. Okay, and then we'll press play and we'll keep bringing Drake's Island into the center. So if it drifts off like it's doing there, it's drifting off, drifting off, drifting off to this side. We'll bring it into the center again. And this way we'll lurch into and we'll zoom up on Drake's Island now. So it's drifting off again. And then let's bring it into the center. And then we'll replay this and we'll see what changes we've just made and how it affects things. So, right. So that's where the speed stops there. That 6 times speed stops there. So I'm going to make that bit a bit longer because I want to keep on zooming along at high speed. So I'm going to make that a much longer segment. So there we are. So let's get back up there. So I just stretched it so the speed effect works longer. So I made it longer there. So let's keep going. So Drake's Island is still drifting a little bit to the left. So I'm going to bring it back into the center. Now it's sort of nearly staying in the center now. Let's see. Right, it's drifting a little bit to the left there. But you see where we're going with this, don't you? You see how it kind of works out. So I can put it back in the center again. Now bear in mind, this doesn't have to be 6 times foot. You know, you could play this at real time, you know, and you could keep this locked in the whole time if you wanted to keep it in the background. But I think it works well to kind of see places zooming in, you know. Right, so let's keep it going because we're getting quite close now. So now we start.
So you just play different audio on a separate channel while you're doing that.
That's right. You can put you could put some music on it or something. Yeah.
Something on the back.
That's right. Yeah. So I'm going to make those trees the focus of attention. So the trees now on the top there, I'm going to put those back in the center. So I'm going to use those as my center focal spots. So they're going out to the right, which I don't want, so I'm going to bring them back into the center. There we are. So we could do with a little bit more of this speed effect. Stretch it out a little bit longer. We're nearly there, but let's just see how we're getting on. So there we go. So I'm going to bring those trees back into the center one more time, maybe one or 2 more times, and we should be there then. There we go. So that's it. So now if we watch the whole sequence from back here, you'll see that, you know, even though the boat is bouncing around and it might even change left and right, it might change direction, we're locked on to our target the whole time.
We're going there, and that's where we're going.
And you can make it, you could go 32 times speed if you wanted to. It doesn't have to be this slow, but you know.
How's stuff, you know, when I said you bring the files and it's only one file. Well,
Yeah.
if you slow it down, does it degrade? Can you tell it's not a proper slow-mo?
No, to be honest, it's very good quality. It does a good job of doing this slow motion, and there's even a blur mode, which I turn off because if you go very fast, the blur mode goes a bit crazy. But you know, if you're doing like 2 or 4 times, the blur mode works quite well. But if you're doing 32 times, I mean, look how crazy that is. Like we're literally like, it's like a drone shot, isn't it? It's like we're flying towards it like a drone shot.
As if someone's on the back with a fucking Steadicam.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
And it's just locked on. The whole journey there is locked on. You know, and the thing is now, if I wanted to,
It'd be a great time to do a voiceover there.
yeah. And the thing is, I could render this out, and then I could come back and I could revisit it, and I could say, when we're doing it, let's not be looking at the island anymore. Let's be looking at Josh as we go over.
See, their reactions.
You know, and let's look at Josh and then render it out again, and let's say Josh again, like, you know. And let's, you know, and just let's follow Josh whilst we're on the way over. And then you've got multiple camera angles, so we could cut from one camera back and forth, you know, from the boat camera pointing at the island to Josh's reactions all the time, you know.
Because
so
if someone hasn't been there and they haven't, I don't know if he's regular on boats, but
see?
I don't think he is really.
So I'm watching Josh now as we're going the whole time, and that's all I had to do. You saw how quickly I changed that, yeah. So now I'll put this one as Josh again. I'll put it as Josh again, and the next one I'll put that as Josh, and then this one I'll put as Josh. Let's see how it works out. See, you know, so we can do a whole new run off. I can run this off as a separate file, so we can watch Josh as we're going, you know, and we can run this off to a separate render, and then I can say, right, I tell you what, right, let's come to a third camera, and let's look at Bucky whilst we're going, you know. And let's look at Bucky again whilst we're going. Let's keep on Bucky this time, and we'll run this off, you know. And well, you can't see him because he's behind my head, but he's there. Yeah, he is there. But let's keep it on Bucky. So let's have a look at that, how that works. So in a second it'll turn around from Josh and it'll focus more on Bucky, and it'll stay on Bucky, you know. Probably would have been better with Carl, you know, with Bucky, because Bucky's behind my head. You know, but you get the idea, don't you? I said, like I say, right, let's do a Carl instead. Let's not forget Bucky because you can't see him all the time. Let's do Carl, and here we'll do Carl again, and here we do Carl again. Right, so we're focusing more on Carl now. We can run a whole new clip off with Carl, like that. So let's play it. So, you know, so now we're not going to be on Bucky. We're going to, in a second, it's going to change to Carl. So it's going to be focusing all, well, saying that. Slowly turning to Carl. There we are, Carl. And now it's going to stay on Carl. And it's going to stay on Carl. And it's going to stay on Carl. That's it. So, you know, and see how it slowly moves back? It resets and it slowly turns around to the original thing, which was back on the island. Which was the, you know, because we've only changed a couple of these shots and most of the shots are still the island. But it doesn't jump. It slowly pans around and turns back to the island. You know what I mean? Crazy, isn't it?
Hopefully everyone in the chat knows this, or do you just take it for granted that you film it? And do they know all this? Because I didn't know you could spin it round and edit like that. I thought it was just like you can move it with your mouse and you can view whatever you wanted to view. Yeah,
you can put these keyframes in, and obviously, you know, it smoothly turns from one angle. So it's literally like a guy with a very smooth tripod, and he turns it smoothly to this angle, and he'll stay there on that angle until you tell him to turn down here and stay down here. And then when you tell him to move up here, he'll stay up here, you know. But you're basically telling that cameraman to take that angle and stay on that angle. And he will. He'll stay on that angle. That's it. You do this.
How long have you had that?
I've had these cameras for about 2 years now. Well, you know, a 360 camera. And it helps me because when I've got so much on, like you can see, I'm operating a steering wheel, a throttle. I'm having to look for other. I'm having to look left and right for other traffic. I'm having to look at my phone. My head's bobbing up and down, left and right, left and right, left and right, looking for traffic, looking for everything that's going on.
Camera's completely fixed.
You know, but when you play it back, it's like
it doesn't look like you're doing nothing.
Doesn't look like I'm doing anything. In fact, if I delete some of these, right? I mean, let's have a look now, right? If I delete some of these, because it's going to keep turning, otherwise I'll delete them. Yeah, come on, delete. Yeah, delete. And let's go here. If I put it down pointing at my head, you'll see how much my head's turning. Right? That's what my head's doing. And the camera is affixed to the front of it. It's actually affixed to the front of my thing. So my head's turning and turning and turning all the time. But you can see nothing's happening to where I'm pointing. It's very little anyway. See, it's like, yeah. So I'm pointing, you know, the whole time my camera is pointing in different directions. Yeah. But it's pretty much locked on and steady to where I tell it. If I say I want to be on this house, I want that house to be the steady point, you know. Like if I say, right, I want to be on that house, right? And on that shot, I still want to be on that house. Let's find it again. Let's have a look at that house. Where is he? Is it there? Oh, it's that house. That's right, yeah. So between those two shots now, look, I'm locked onto the house. Even though you know, because I just showed you, right, my head is turning and turning and turning and turning and turning. I'm locked onto that house because I told it to.
So where's both lenses, left and right or front and back?
Front and back, yeah.
Back,
I mean, you could turn them side to side if you wanted to. It doesn't matter. It doesn't actually matter. But here's the thing, see. I mean, if I zoom out, you'll see how much my head's turning, even though I'm pointing at that house. Right now, watch. And if I go here and I zoom back, you'll see how much my head's turning. But notice that we're locked onto the house. So see my head turned. See. But it doesn't matter where my head's turning, and we're locked onto the house. Now it's going to drift back to being locked onto the island because that was one of the next sequences I told it to do. But, you know, my head is bobbing around like a crazy thing, you know, and yet the camera ignores that and stays looking at what I'm telling it to.
I didn't know you could do all that. I thought it was literally put on your helmet and away you go. And then
it's an action cam for people that, you know, want to go and edit it later. They haven't got time to point their heads in the direction of the action, you know, because a lot of action cams, when people are running, they turn their head to the left. Oh, there's a security guard. Oh, there's a policeman. Oh, where's the security guard? What about the ladder I'm on? Oh, but what about up there? Look at the policeman. Look at the security guard. Look at the policeman. Look at the security guard. Well, later on, you can decide you just want to be straight line. You could, you know, you can say, oh, I don't want to look at the policeman. I want to be looking at the ladder. Screw the security guard and the policeman. I want to be looking down the ladder the whole time I climb down the ladder. So you can choose that shot.
Unless one of the coppers falls over, then you can.
And then you can pop over. Oh, look, the copper's just fallen over. Now let's have a look back down the ladder. You know, it's like that. It's just crazy because it's like having your own cameraman with you, and you can change what he's done later on. It's like you're having an extra cameraman standing with you by your side, filming you. And you change the shots later on. It's crazy, isn't it?
There are moments when you're out and you're filming, you go, oh, do you know what? I'll think about that later because they've just done that or I've heard that. So I'll try and remember that for when I get in the edit.
Yeah. So let's have a look what people are saying in the channel then. So, right. Oh, hello, proving TNMT forever. Duck's guilty as charged. Or has somebody been kicked off then? I don't know. Or is it? Or TNMT is saying she is guilty as charged. I don't know what's going on here. Ryan Bam, fellow mate, how you doing? Kevin Rathbone, acetone. I don't know what these people are talking about. See, it's like I'm jumping into somebody else's conversation now. He says I can't talk. I'm having a whiskey. He says ducks go quack. Steve Ellis, hello. Random TV, hello. I should use my 360 cam on Angel. I could do actually, yes. Because I did say to people, I don't like the idea of using GoPros on the dog because they bounce around and they point in different directions. But if I put the 360 cam on the dog, I'll be able to choose the angle. It'll smooth it out. The horizon will be level. It'll be stable. Yeah, the 360 is the ideal thing to stick on the dog. I'll try it. I'll give it a go.
That'll be interesting.
The thing is,
Go for a walk. Go for a walk with it and just test it out.
yeah, they don't like being thrown around. They don't like being thrown around. They will sort of slightly get smudgy images if you go crazy with them. And what I'm worried is that on the dog, it's going to be going wham, wham, wham on her shoulders. So it might get a bit smudgy. But as long as as you can see, my head's turning and it's not a problem, yeah? So my head's turning like this, back and forth, it's not a problem. But if my head was going whoa, 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 like that, it probably would get a bit smudgy, But effectively, now, there's the seam line. Can you see the seam line now? You see it on the wheel. You can see the seam line on the wheel.
Yeah.
So
it
that's
distorts a little bit.
that is actually the line between one camera lens and the other camera lens, and the software tries to intelligently work out and stitch together and smooth out between the two. And it doesn't do a bad job, but it doesn't do it good close up. You see, close up it makes mistakes, but in the distance it does a proper job. So you can't see that line. That line is like a straight line drawn out in this direction, yeah? And it doesn't make a mistake with the boat. See, the boat's perfect. Now, it's drawn that in because it's actually having to calculate that. It's having to calculate this mistake. Now, it's got it right with the boat, and there's nothing in the sea. Look, got the sea completely right. But down here is struggling a bit. So
when you think about it, though, you're on a boat, there's people moving, there's water. That's not bad, considering.
Not bad, is it? And that's artificial. That's an artificial intelligence sort of engine type thing, trying to work it out. Yeah. It
on a moving boat.
Tries to piece together the pieces, and it's like sometimes sometimes it gets it right and sometimes it gets it wrong. It's not getting it wrong. You can see where the line is going, but it's not getting it wrong on the boat. But it is getting it wrong closer to me. Watch now, carefully, right? It's turned around there. So you see it when my head turns forward. There it is. It's over Carl at the moment. It's getting Carl wrong, and it's getting around there. But effectively, when you see it there, it's Carl. But see, it's getting Carl wrong, but it's not getting the C wrong. See, it's getting Carl wrong, but it's not getting the C wrong. You see?
And can you notice it that much if you were just literally walking down the street, or is it way better?
It depends on how much is going on, how well it does it.
Past,
There's a lot of stuff going on here, but I mean, it's doing a pretty good job to draw in the horizon. It's doing a pretty good job there. Sometimes you don't notice it, but there's a hell of a lot going on in this image. So you can see it's not really visible unless it's moving. You can't tell where that line is. It's not really noticeable. So. Point back and have a look at Dan, or we can turn around and have a look at the island, or we can have a look at my head, or we can have a look at the sky. But wherever you point it, it'll pretty much stay there. Oh, it's going over Dan now. Look, did you see the line, the little mistake line? It went over Dan then. Hang on. There it is. Come on. It's making a mistake over Dan. Yeah. So, but not a mistake on the horizon behind Dan, So it does make little mistakes sometimes, but not always. So you can see it didn't make a mistake on the island, but it made a mistake on Dan. So there we are. So yeah, it's one of those, isn't it? That's the beauty of this camera, is you can kind of film in super wide, and you can film all the way back, so you can kind of like have a really wide angle view of everything going on like that. So like everybody on the boat, really wide angle, super wide angle, fisheye. So you can see everything on the boat. You can see Dan, Bucky, Thing, and Josh. That's almost 360 degrees of view there, but we're still flat image. Dan's on the back of the boat. Carl's on the front of the boat.
That shot there was almost Truman Show.
Yeah. You can see Carl and Dan. Look, Dan's on the back of the boat. Yeah. Carl's on the front of the boat. But you can literally nearly see everybody and everything, nearly the whole thing. Now there is a mode, called Little Planet. Hang on a second. You've got fisheye, straighten, planet. Now that's weird, isn't it? Now it looks like we're on a little planet, and the clouds. That's very bizarre, isn't it? You zoom in, and it's like all the planet is round the edge, which is the horizon. and the clouds.
I've seen that shot a few times on a few Ali Law videos.
That's it.
I was wondering what that was.
Yeah, that's how they do it. So you can tell now Ali Law is using one of these cameras. Like, yeah, exactly. So that you can reverse it and you can go the other way. I think is that just fisheye? That's just fisheye, that one. So you can bring people in on a fisheye lens. So you got fisheye to the edge, little planet, fisheye only, and straightened edges. So those are the 4 modes. So if you go little planet, you can either have the sky, or if you go the other way, it'll have the ground, and we'll be like we're in a whirlpool tunnel. So it's now, that's bizarre because it's like everyone's around the edge, and it's like we're in a wave, you know, like a surfer wave.
It's great though.
It's bizarre, isn't it?
Yeah. It's an excellent tool.
You know, it's like, look at that. It's like something out of the Stargate, isn't it? It's like Stargate, and I can spin it round, spin people around. It's bizarre. Look at that for a weird image. Now, people have said to me, they're like, oh, what's this crap? Because I did some of these special effects on a video in the past, and people were like complaining bitterly, like, what is this shit? What are you doing? What are you doing? And I'm just like, well, I'm just showing you the weird modes you can do with the camera. Like, you know, what you can do is bizarre. You know, you can flip people upside down, like, you know, and sort of flip them round and make them into a planet, like, and you can do all this sort of shit. It's just bizarre. Because there's so many weird things you can do when you're in 360, you know?
It's a great tool, though.
You know? So, you know, you can just play around with it to your heart's content. It's crazy. So, yeah, well, that's what I wanted to show people, is that was what the 360 camera is about. And that's why, if you've got one, you really don't have to worry about what you're pointing your camera at.
Yeah.
You know, you can just forget about it, you know. You just do what you got to do, worry about the shots later on. Worry about where you're pointing later on when you get home. You know. So you know, if you've got a GoPro on your head, you've always got to be constantly thinking, where's that GoPro pointing? It's pointing when your eyes are pointing front. It's like your nose. Your GoPro is your nose. Yeah, your eyes can move around, but your nose can't. So your GoPro's like your nose. You have to point your nose at where you want the shot. You know, that's what you have to do. So, but with this,
it can be off-putting GoPro, especially if like someone's on a roof or on a mountain bike, or it's great for that speed, fast action. But sometimes you're like, just keep still a minute. I want to see what you're doing. I want to see what's going on.
That's right. You could slow this footage down. Like, I mean, I could put a slow motion bit in here if I wanted to. Let's try it out. So let's say speed here, and it says how long do you want the speed to last for? And you say, well, this long. So you put it in like that, and or is it here? So you put it in there, and it's like, well, how long do you want it? Do you want it double speed? I say, well, no, I don't want it double speed. I want it half speed. So it's going to last longer now. So if we put it in here, so now you see everybody moving in slow motion. But when you go to render it, when you go to render this out, it'll actually be smoother because it draws in extra frames and extra information, so it looks smoother. But, you know, so there's a slow down thing. So you can slow down, you can speed up, you can turn the camera. So you've got all these different modes. And, yeah, it just makes life a lot easier filming, because I don't have to worry about what I'm doing. You know, if I had a camera on my head and we were doing this filming, I'd have to be talking to people but not turning my head to keep the island locked in the shot. You know, I'd have to be going, Dan, he'd be going, what? But I couldn't turn around to see him. I had to go, Dan, you'll have to come here because I'm filming, come here, because I can't take my head off the shot, you know. It's like, but with this, I can turn round, I can talk to him, I can turn back, I can look at the ground, I can, you know, do anything I want to, and that shot is sorted. Doesn't matter what I'm up to, I got the shot.
It's
Yeah.
handy, very handy, that. As you say, it is like an extra cameraman.
It's like an extra cameraman. There we are, look. So that's me shot. You know, zoom it in on this guy. There's a guy who comes along here in a minute. He's talking to us about something. He's saying, oh, you can't come on the island, and he comes out and talks to us and tells us stuff. But I mean, like, you know, if I was pointing in the wrong direction, I'd have missed what he was saying, you know. But now I can, once I've locked onto him, In fact, there's a lock-on mode. I haven't used it, but it's called Intelligent Tracking. There we are, Deep Track.
And it will just literally lock on.
Yeah, Deep Track. Now, with this Deep Track mode, I'll get rid of this slowdown thing. I'll get rid of that. I'm going to turn the camera normal now. I'll zoom it in, put a keyframe in there, turn it on normal. I'm going to lock it on. I'm going to try and lock it on to an item. So if we didn't have it locked on, this object is going to drift, I think. It's going to drift off to the left. Okay, so as you see, it's drifting off to the left slowly as we're going. And it's drifting and drifting and drifting. What you can do is, instead of manually doing it, you can automatically do it. You can say deep track, cannot deep track on keyframes. Okay, so what do I do then? I have to delete that. Oh, shit. What do I have to do? I have to get it locked on. Do I then press the button? I'm just wondering what I have to do. So I don't normally use this mode, so I have to get that there, then press deep track. Ah, there we are. So you left click and you draw around the thing you're interested in, and you say start tracking that object.
That is great.
And it hasn't done it for some reason, but I don't know what I'm doing with this mode. Center the target. Okay, so I've got to draw that. Center the target, start tracking. Oh, there we are. Look, see, it's tracking the object. So it's going to work. It's going to work this out, and it's slow because it's thinking about it. You know,
try its best to keep following.
Yeah, and basically, so I could have put Drake's Island. I could have drawn around Drake's Island and said, "Look, Drake's Island, keep that in the center for me," and it would have done. It would have taken care of it for me. But it's a bit of a slower process because it has to think about it. Whereas if I just put Drake's Island in the center of the screen, I'm thinking about it. And I think my brain is a bit faster than the computer somehow, but yeah. For certain things, because it doesn't know what Drake's Island is. That's the thing. That's why it's having this calculation is hard, because it has to work out what this object is and stay on it. Whereas if I do the thing of saying, well, I know what the object is at any angle, I can keep on it. That's a lot easier because I can maintain the track. But if I want it to do the track, you know, it'll slowly work itself out. Now, if I say stop, now it's calculated that, so now it's going to stay on that in the center of the screen, I think. Right there. So now it's going to stay on that. So no matter where we go, that should be absolutely in center line. Now, you note earlier on it was drifting over here slowly across this stuff, and it was starting to drift over this bit. Now it's not, you see? So now this is going to be more useful if you're going past something, if you're going past an object. So let's go back to the beginning when we're leaving the harbour. This is where this is going to be useful. So as we start to leave the harbour, if we track it on an object then, like this bloke here. So as we leave the harbour, I think we're reversing now. Let's just see when we start reversing. And we'll track it on this bloke. So as we go past him, it'll maintain the shot for us.
Yeah.
Right, there's the engine going. Right, so we should be reversing now, probably, he says. I'm coming back up to the edge for some reason. I'm not doing what I thought I was going to be doing. Come on. What was I doing then? I hadn't untied the boat or something. I don't know.
Yeah, you're untied. Yeah.
I hadn't untied the boat. So let me delete a couple of these keyframes, otherwise they're going to throw us out from what we're trying to do here. So let's move this around. So I want to see that boat start going. So let's put a keyframe in so we're roughly around here then. Right, okay. So about here we should start to reverse up, I'm thinking. We're starting to reverse up yet? Come on. Yeah, there we are. We're starting to reverse now. So about here then, let's find something like this person, yeah. And let's say this is the deep track we want to do. It's going to say, right, what are you looking at? I say that. I say I want it in the center of the image. Start the tracking. So now it's intelligently working out what I'm interested in. And it's going to lock on and follow that, even though you can see we're moving now, because we're moving around him, yeah? You can see we're moving around him. Yeah? And it's intelligently working out where he is so we don't have to do the manual tracking. Right? If I say that's enough, then we've made our point. That's all we need, right? Let's go back and press play then here. So as we move away, it keeps him in track the whole time. It's turning with him. It's turning to face it where he is. Job done. Intelligent tracking. I don't even use that, but it's there.
It's literally like a second cameraman, isn't it?
It's like, you know, you take care of looking at him, mate, because I'm driving the boat. That's it.
I'm busy up here.
That's it.
Brilliant. Your
second cameraman is on the job, like he's watching that bloke there, no matter where he goes.
Now, if you would have uploaded that clip within your video, people might have thought, oh, you've panned round to see what he's up to there.
That's right.
So
that's the
you're
thing.
Driving the boat that way.
People complain. Yeah, people complain. They say this camera looks shit. What they don't realise is what the camera's actually doing, because without the camera, you'd have a headshot going left, right, left, right, left, right, up, down, left, right, left, right. You know, what they don't realise is they say this looks shit. So what they're saying is, right, this shot here, that looks shit, that shot. It's got dirt, it's looking messy, it's dirty. But what they don't realise is this is the type of shot you'd have without it. Let me just delete this thing. So this is the type of shot you'd have had without it, because I'll put it on a front lock, right? This is now locked to my head, right? So as my head turns, this is what the turn will be like. So I'm not looking at him. Now I'm looking at the front of the boat. That's the way my head's pointing, right? So whichever way my head turns, well, my head it should be locked actually. It's not locking to my head. In fact, it's sideways on. It should be going where my head's going. I don't understand that, because lock direction. Let's turn that off. Oh look, this is what happens if you turn off the stabilization, right? So this is without stabilization. Now that's what a GoPro would give you.
Yeah.
That's a GoPro, right? Right. To give you an idea of what you'd have, right, without this camera. And so the thing is, people say like, oh, that 360 camera, man, I don't like it. What I should say to them is like, right, it's the difference between this, right, which is me turning my head round in all different directions because I got lots of jobs I'm doing here, right? So that's a GoPro, right? Turning in it wherever my head is turning, right? And let's watch that same bit again, stabilized. There, bang. So now I can turn the camera to him, right? Let's turn it back to him, lock it on him. There we are. So now, even though you can see the muck moving across the lens, you ain't got any of that wobble, tilty horizon stuff. It's locked on. So this is what people don't realise, they don't appreciate. This, to me, makes my life so much easier because I can concentrate on what I'm doing. I can use my hands. I can do this. Now, people who watch the sort of videos, they just want to see 100% quality all the time, but they don't realise how hard it is to carry a camera when you're trying to operate a boat.
Yeah, climb into holes.
So,
yeah,
you know, if I was holding a nice big camera, it would look like this. You know, because that's, you know, Dan is hand holding his camera and he's doing a pretty good job. Josh there, he's doing a pretty good job, as you know, and he's trying to be as smooth as he can, but he can do it because he's not operating a boat. You know,
yeah, of course. Yeah.
I got both hands in use, so I can turn a real mess of a job on my head into bang. Yeah. Just by turning on, that's GoPro quality, right? This is Insta 360 quality. You know what I mean?
I think as well, when you go out with a group of people like Dan or whoever you go with, like, because obviously we all watch their videos as well, and
yeah.
But it's great to see because I like to see their point of view.
Yes.
So whoever uploads, I don't know how it works. Whoever uploads first, I don't know how you toss a coin or whatever, but whoever uploads first, we watch that. But we'll also watch your one and we'll watch their one because because we see different views, but with this, you see it all, really. It's all
Yeah.
sort of in there.
There's a small trade-off. This is the problem, is there's a small trade-off in quality for all that stability and the fact that I can train the camera wherever I need it. And there's a small trade-off in quality. Now, the problem is, because I put my stuff out in 4K, people see that slight fuzziness then. They see that slight blurriness, you know. But if I was to just put it out in 2K, like a lot of people, that Insta 360 would look pretty damn good. But it's because I've got it in 4K and people are then going, oh, one camera looks really sharp, Matt. And then you go to this other weird 360 camera and then it looks fuzzy. And then it goes back sharp again when you're on a nice camera, you know, and then it goes fuzzy. Matt, get rid of that 360, it's crap. But what they don't realise is there wouldn't be a shot there because I wouldn't be able to film. There are sometimes I can film and then that's got to go away because I'm doing something. No, I can't film. So the 360 fills in the blanks. It fills in those blanks where you wouldn't have anything.
Do you find is there less views when you put the 360 videos out than the official?
Yeah, definitely. There's because the thing is, what I tend to do is I put out the 360.
Put the 360 video out a week before and don't give them the other ones later.
Well, that's true, I suppose. Yeah.
Because then they'll have to watch it
Oh,
and make it a premiere.
They'd strangle me then. Yeah.
Yeah,
But yeah, the thing with the 360 is, I mean, not a lot of people want to sit there on their phone and move around, like looking around.
I've done it, but I've done it.
Yeah.
No, I have done it.
But it does give you whatever angle you want. You can look at Josh all the way on the boat. Just watch Josh. You can just focus on Josh. But if you get bored of him, you can go, no, I'll watch Carl. And you can rewind the video and you can watch Dan. You can watch whoever you want to. You can watch whatever you want to. You pick the camera angle. So people complain. They go like, oh, it's no good. But what they don't realise is they become the cameraman. You see, if it's in full 360, they're the guy who's deciding the shot. They're deciding the shot. If it's full 360, what I showed you there is if I'm producing a non-360, I'm choosing the shots. You know, but people complain. They go like, oh, well, it's not quite as good. It's not quite as good. Well, it's better than nothing, you know, because at the end of the day, I haven't got 7 pairs of arms. So I can't be operating a boat, turning my head, chatting to people, sorting things out, going on the radio, whatever it takes. I can't do all that. You know, otherwise I just have to borrow Dan's footage, you know, or Josh's footage, or I'd have to borrow somebody else's footage because if I'm sitting in the...
Do you ever do that? If you miss something, go, oh, just give me that.
Yeah.
And
sometimes.
Everyone cool with that?
Yeah, absolutely. We always share.
If you're all going on the same gig, then yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, I had to do it the other day with
because Dan used it in the tunnel.
Yeah.
He didn't have it, but one of you had it on the boat.
That's it.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. I had this like 360 cam, not this particular one. I had a 360 cam on that nab tower. And I got us all the way there, and I kept saying to Steve, is it still filming? And he was like, yep, because his light is flashing on it. I was like, is it filming? Is it filming? As we got close to the nab tower and we were getting done, it stopped. So all the business of us trying to get on, me getting him off, throwing the rope to him, and then having to throw the rope again, and all this business. And it's so hectic. I didn't realise it wasn't filming, so I didn't film. I got on, and we let the boat sort of go away with the current. We let the current take the boat away, and then it was held on the rope. Like, get on, and we go up the thing, and we like, oh right, the door's open. Let's get in there. And I'm inside, and I'm walking around, and I've even gone downstairs, and I go, I better check the camera. So I take the head thing off. Bloody camera's battery died because I filmed that long sequence all the way over there, so the battery died. So I missed.
You don't know if that's recording because
it's on my head. Yeah, it's up here.
Is that why you keep asking people? You go, is that recording?
That's right. Is it still recording? Yeah. I'm going, is it flashing? Is it flashing? Yeah. Because I can't see it because it's up there on top of my head. Yeah. But the thing is, because I decided to film that long sequence over, you've got to get so used to changing these batteries and being really, really careful on how you film, because it's a totally different style of filming, because you're not looking through a lens. You don't know the camera's gone off. There's a whole
There's no screen on it at all, is there?
No. I have got a way around it though. I've because I'm starting to, it's starting to get there, right? I've brought an arm now, right? So normally it would be on here, on the front of my head, like about here, right? Now I got an arm that's back here. So when I'm ready to film and go, pull the arm out, so it's about there now in front of me, up in the air, so I can actually look up at it. So in the future, when you see these videos, you're not going to see the top of my helmet. You're going to see me, right? You're going to see me from up here looking down at me. It's going to be like that, yeah. And you're going to, every once in a while, you're going to see me going like this, and I'm going to constantly be looking up at it like, like this. Is it still filming? Is it still filming? You're going to be seeing me doing that.
How long do you get out of one battery? How long does it last?
I think about 40 minutes. But the thing is, it was a 40-minute journey over.
And you've wasted it all. Yeah.
And then bang, by the time we got there, it stopped. So we missed the first few minutes. And then when we got in there, I had to borrow a little bit of footage from Steve just to sort of fill in the blanks, you know, because neither of us had it. And the thing is, I knew he wouldn't be able to film when he was clambering up, you know, like waves going and current. He's not going to be able to film. I'm not going to be able to film. So the only thing we would have had would have been that, you know, the loser cam. So
also, if you don't mind me saying so, you spoke like people will film and will cut.
yes,
And you sort of missed that. And you said last time you don't, because you want to see the flow and
I want to see everything.
So you want to see where we are, and it is off-putting sometimes. So you're in a cave with someone, and then you're in a different area. You go, where the fuck are we?
Yeah, how far have you gone? Has 20 minutes passed? Has 2 minutes passed? You know, you don't know
How fast?
how big is it? You know,
Have you gone down?
yeah. I mean, I like to get a feel for how big these places really are. You know, because I've been to places that I've seen in photos and they look amazing in photos. You get there and it's like, well, it's not that big, is it? And you go, where's that shot they did? And you're looking for it. Like, where's that shot then? Where did they get that amazing shot from? And you go, oh, right, it must be here. But you think, it doesn't look as exciting as it did in that photo. And then you think, well, no, because they Photoshop everything. So it's like, you know, they take a very bland photo and then they go ping and they make it. It's like Disney, you know. It's like pshong, and then what I come to see, you go, oh, where's that magic shot then? It's a bit like that with the Dragon's Eye. You know, we went down that tunnel, the Dragon's Eye.
You didn't go down the second time?
I did, yeah, I did, yeah.
The last one?
Yeah.
Did you?
I didn't go out in front with. I just let people film though, to be honest, because I've already filmed it, so I didn't really need to be there again in shot. I didn't think so. I just let people get on.
As you say, the photographs that Dan uploaded, they were good.
They're amazing photos, but trust me,
it doesn't look like that.
It does not look like that in real life.
It's just a load of coloured slate.
In fact, that's why nobody can find it, because if you walk past it, you'd miss it. Yeah, you know, you look at those photos and you think, oh, you walk past it, it's like, boom, I'm the Dragon's Eye. Hello, hello. It's not like that. You walk past it and you walk back and you go, where? Well, I can't see it. And everybody's walking around and somebody goes, do you think it might be that if you Photoshop it? And it's like, not from this angle. So then you're all walking around trying to find, oh, hang on, if you stand here and you go down really low and you get that rock going really high and you sit there and then you zoom, then that's the Dragon's Eye. But when
I'm sure as I was watching that video and Dan was saying, you can see them come on Instagram, blah, blah, blah. I'm sure I did that at the same time, and I was like, that doesn't look the same, but
I tell you what, people say the camera doesn't lie, the camera lies, and Photoshop is a big liar, you know? The camera lies. I mean, it is there, but you have to kind of picture it in your mind as well, because whoever first saw it must have a good imagination, because it doesn't jump out at you, and it's not all that colourful, you know?
Is it not? It's not lit at all?
No,
completely
it's completely black, and to be honest, it looks like it's like slate and slate and slate. It's all just the same colour, you know. It's like, yeah, but you look up at it from the wrong angle, and you think, no, that's not it, no way. But you walk to the absolute corner of the room, and you come down at an extreme angle and point up, and then zoom in, and you have to position people then so they look big and it looks big behind them. Because if you just take a normal photo of them, they're going to look this big, and there's going to be this huge thing, and people are going to look like that. So you have to position it so they're big, and you have to position it behind them just right, and then you have to apply all the color effects to the dragon's eye, but not to the person's, because otherwise they're going to be like fluorescent. You know.
So how long were they? As I say, I did see the pictures. How long were they there taking them?
Oh, good 20 minutes, half an hour getting those photos right.
Yeah. I did see the pictures. I thought they're fantastic. Then I thought, you haven't just put the tripod down and clicked.
No, I mean, you would not be allowed to get away with that in National Geographic, because there are strict rules about photography for National Geographic and various journals, that it has to be what you took in the camera, and all you're allowed to do, you're not allowed to sharpen, you're not allowed to airbrush, you're not allowed to colorize. I think you're allowed to use the color. You can turn the color up and down, so you can go black and white, or you can, but that's it. And they want to see your original files off the camera. No manipulation.
Manual settings on the camera itself.
They're very strict. It's almost like, protocol. It's like what you shot has to be that good in one shot. Bang. And the thing is, that's why those shots are so much more precious, because they're not photoshopped. Whereas, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying there's no rules about taking photos of the dragon's eye. It's there, but you have to make it what it is. It doesn't look like that when you're standing underneath it. It's a round roof. But when somebody must have had an eye for detail, they thought, let's get this, and then I can tweak that and boost it.
We've all done it.
Yeah. But that's it. That's the magic. That is the magic. I mean, it's like the magic of television is the same. The magic of television is you think it's all like that. It's not. There's a lot of tweaking, and image manipulation to make things look good. And it's never filmed live. Very rarely is there a true live now. Everything is pre-recorded and edited, and then they call it live. They say live in the corner, and if you question them on it, you say, well, you said that was live. They say, oh, it was filmed as live, but then edited and then broadcast. Yeah, that's the way broadcasters are. So there's a lot of it's not live.
It's not just that; it's technology as well. Because I'm a sound recordist, and my best mate, he's the cameraman. We've got an FX9. And we've got the Sigma 85, and I swear to God, you can just film anything, and it will look like a fucking film. Yeah. It's absolutely stunning. Because the colour on the FX9, it's the same on the A7S3.
Yeah.
It's basically the same tech inside. It's a bigger body.
Yeah.
And the autofocus is good if you've got the lens, but it's stunning. You could literally film anything.
Yeah, I think they said that the FX9 is an A7X in a bigger body.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. They're basically the same. That's why when we got the FX9, we wanted that, because you can lock any off on autofocus, and it literally will track someone. And if you go out to shot and come back in, it captures you again.
Yeah.
So when one camera is locked off, we can fuck about with the other one. But it's the same tech really in the A7S3 as the FX9. It's just a smaller body, and the FX9 is quite big.
Yeah. I'm toying with whether to get an A7S3, but the thing is, the thing that I need more than anything else, to be perfectly honest, and what I'm going to next upgrade is the computer. I've got a beast. It's a dual processor, 6-core, 12-thread per processor. It's got 24 threads. It's got 64 gigs of RAM, and it's a beast, But
do you know what? I wouldn't recommend people buying the A7 III, because before anyone looks, it's not a stills camera for a kick-off.
No,
it's definitely not a stills camera. It's
video only.
Camera. Yeah. But it's like $3,500 or something. It's not really worth the money if any blogger or vlogger was running around amateur with that. I go, why? You do not need that.
Yeah.
Great in dark lights. We all know the A7S is brilliant, but if an amateur racked up with one of them, I'd be you don't need, that's a waste of money.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, a lot of the time, it's the content you get is more important than the camera you use, It's like, if you could, as long as you've got a good, you've got a good banter, or you've got a good, what you're doing is good, You know, that's what is attracting people. You know, it's like the camera. You know, it could be overkill. Like you could be running around with a red Epic, like £100,000 camera. You know, but you don't know how to speak to a camera, and you don't know how to hold a camera, and you're not filming well. You know, it's like, what's the point? You know, you got all the camera, but you got no content. You know,
The only good thing about the A7 III is the battery's difference, and as everyone knows on the A7S, the batteries are complete shite.
Yeah, that's
Get
right.
20 minutes max, probably.
You get used to changing batteries out. Yeah.
We had the Mark 1, we had the Mark 2, and we've got like 20 batteries, and literally just going every 5 minutes. But the battery's a bit bigger on this. The body's quite bigger as well. It's a little bit chunkier, and you know, you can get different mounts for different lenses. But yeah,
that's right.
The batteries on the A7S, not worth it.
Yeah, 40 minutes of battery if you're lucky, and if it's cold, less, because they're affected by the temperature. So yeah.
Good camera, but do you know what? Actually, I'll take it back. The A7S 1 and 2 and 3, I think they've all three of them have been shite for stills.
They are, because they've only got a 12 megapixel sensor.
Yeah, they're not very quick either.
Yeah.
Depending if you use a Sony lens, maybe, but they're not quite quick. I don't think they're quick.
Yeah, the 1 and 2 didn't have good autofocus. Only the 3 has adopted the correct autofocus system, which is now in the A60-600, I think, as well. Yeah.
It's the same as the FX9. The autofocus is it's incredible. Just literally, you can literally lock on a person and it won't leave them.
That's
brilliant.
It. Yeah.
And if you're on a dolly or whatever, or your tripod or whatever, you're running around with a fucking Ronin, it'll still stay, even though you might fuck up. Still got them.
Yeah, that's right. That's the thing that people were complaining about the most, was really it was like a very slow focusing system, and it would get it wrong, and it would just stay there wrong. You know, so
and now it's faster. It's faster than we can get it. If you've got a massive cine lens, you know they're slow.
Yes.
You can't get a cine lens, but this is like it gets it in seconds.
Yeah.
Literally seconds.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
So it is a good camera, but again, you know, the main thing is probably focus. That's probably one of the best things. You don't need the extra 10-bit color, you know, unless you're a professional, because a lot of people are not going to know what that even means, you know. So from a color point of view, it's like, you know, it's like what do they call it? Like pouring perfume on a pig. You know, it's like you don't know what it is. You know, it's just it's a waste for you to have it there. But if you know what you're doing and you're working in like vlog, then you can get all this dynamic range, so you can bring detail out of the blacks and you can keep the skies in. But like a lot of people, if you say like turn your camera into vlog, and then they go, it looks like shit. That's the first thing you say. It looks like shit. And I go, you don't get this, do you? And I go, you are meant to then manipulate it to make it good. And they go, I don't want that. I just want it to look good. See, so there's the camera flushed down the drain. What they're doing is they're saying, I don't want all that looking crap, so it gets better later, because it'll look 100 times better than an automatic camera, because an automatic camera will lose the blacks and lose the whites. They'll just be burnt out or too dark. Yeah. So when you shoot on a log mode camera, it looks very, very creamy and crap out of the camera. Then you make it look good later on in post, in grading, you know, and that takes time. But the results are cinematic quality. Yeah. But to a lot of people, it's like whoosh. They just want a camera which focuses really well and looks all right, you know, and that's it. So it's like, yeah, the focusing side of the A7S III, yes. The colors and vlog, probably to most people, would be like, what? You know, they don't. To be honest, Josh doesn't use vlog. I said to him, do you use vlog? He goes, no, I just shoot in normal. I said, you don't use any picture profiles? No. But he's the focus, you see. It's just like he's constantly moving around and focusing. So he's got the right camera for the focus point of view, but he's not interested in the color, you know. And the color.
I advise anyone just to wait a year, and then it'll just come down in price.
Yeah.
You'll probably get it for half, maybe. Probably get it for 2 in a bit.
Yeah. So there we go. You know, it's one of those, isn't it? There are various cameras out there. Many are good. You don't need to have a massive camera to produce professional results, but it's just style is more important. It's just style. maybe,
Styling, like,
you know, a shit camera on a steady mount or a stabilizer might be as good as the biggest A7S3 but without a stabilizer. You know what I mean? It's like what you lose with one, you make up with the other. And I would say for most people, stabilizer all day long, and don't worry so much about the camera. You know, it's content. Then you know the stabilizer's taking care of you not being able to film properly. Yeah. Now you just got to worry about the content. Yeah. So, you know, you've taken that bit out of the equation. You don't have to be a good cameraman and a stable cameraman and know how to focus. You know, you've got rid of that equation. Now just worry about the content. So, you know, it's like that for that point of view, I say to people, stabilizers all day long, you know. Stabilizers are brilliant. And that's why I use that little thing, because this just means I do not have to worry about it when I've got 10 other things to do, because I have not got time to be a cameraman when I've got a boat with a load of people on it. I cannot be a cameraman.
Come in very handy, though.
Yeah. So there we go. But anyway, that's why they're good. That's why they're good. And they've got very good cameras on them as well, because they're like 20 megapixel cameras. If you want to do 3D and upload that 3D onto your Facebook, or you can put it on Google Maps, you can submit your photos to Google Maps, and they will become part of the massive Google Maps thing as well. So everyone else can, if they click on an area, it's got a GPS, and if you want to, you can upload that on Google Maps, and it'll go, oh, he was standing here, and then you become part of that massive photo library of, you know, like people on a beach. You know, the Google car doesn't drive down on a beach, and the Google car doesn't drive to the top of a mountain.
But people have uploaded.
People with these are putting the pins on the map and filling in the blanks of photos of places all over the place. You can become part of that if you want, by taking the good photos. And you know, you could, it's great at night as well, because, you know, I said video is pretty shitty, you know, it's grainy if it's dark, and I clean it, yeah, and it takes a lot of processing to clean that thing. But the photos, absolutely brilliant, because it can do longer exposures, you can do nighttime, you can do star photography, you know, time lapse over like 6 hours of star photography in 360, and then you can make that into a video. Then with all those stills, you can put that into a video. So these cameras are dynamic, they're not just video, you know, they can be used as still cameras, and you can monitor what you're doing on your phone. In fact, I could probably fire it up if it'll behave, if it'll play ball. I think I've done this before actually with there's no power in it. That's one thing about these. If you leave them with the battery in, even though they're not turned on, they drain. There's no battery power in it, so that ain't going to come on. But what I was going to do is I was going to show you that it wirelessly connects to my phone.
Is that an internal battery on there?
It is, yeah. You can change the batteries on these, mind. You can change the batteries on them. That's good. So and they're cheap batteries, like, you know, they're only like 5-10 quid or something batteries. But here's the thing, right? I can wirelessly monitor what's going on in that camera, and I can spin the image around, so I can do like I'm doing in the software you saw.
Yeah.
I can turn the camera around and see what I would see later on, and go, oh right, and just as it's recording, I can be going, oh yeah, right, what's over there, what's over there, what's over there, and I can do it. And do you know where that came in really handy? Is when I put it on the end of a stick and I poked it up through a drain, because we were in underground and there was a drain, and I poked it up onto the street, and I held my phone in front of me, and I just went like this, and I was just looking round. I was looking round at the cars, and it was like a periscope. I wasn't turning it round like that.
No, you don't.
I was turning it on the screen. I was turning it on the screen and looking around where we were. So, you know, you could pop this into a hole and have a look around, like, you know, pop it into somewhere where you can't see and look around. It's like having a little, like those little, what do they call them, endoscopes?
Yeah,
it's
endoscope, like a cable with a little.
You could poke it into a small hole, and like but you can actually look around in all directions without having to turn it. Like an endoscope would have to turn, and you'd have to point it because it's looking out in the direction of the end of the endoscope. You'd have to turn it around. But this thing, you just poke it in there, boom, and then the camera sees in all directions anyway, so you could literally look around. Oh. Where's all the chats? It's like I've
The
started.
chat.
It's like I've started a new stream. What the shit? Hang on. I better make sure we're live on this now because I might have started another stream. Oh shit.
Yeah, it's just popped up another live one.
Oh god. Well, I didn't mean to start another stream. But by trying to reconnect, it's just invented another stream for some reason, folks. Something happened, but I was basically finishing up by saying there are some pitfalls to the camera, which are that it can sometimes corrupt files. I've been filming for like 40 minutes, and then you know, you go home and it says corrupt file. But apart from that, when it's behaving itself, they're saying the picture's frozen. It is. The picture's frozen. Jesus Christ. No. Picture's frozen. Oh, hang on. Oh, that's that's me. Sorry, that was me. Because I was on a YouTube page where I hadn't pressed play. That was me. The picture hasn't frozen. It's because I was actually looking at our stream over there where I haven't pressed play. So it's me. Right, okay. So anyway, we've got 2 streams now, which is crazy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have to edit this stream onto the end of the other one, which is fine because I think there was a moment where my telephone number might have come up, so I don't want that visible. So yeah, so I'll have to edit that out. But ultimately, I think we've got a usable 2 hours of talking nice stuff about the Insta 360 camera. Yeah.
And I hope other people like it now because, as you say, no, it's not for everyone.
It's not for everybody. I mean, to be honest, if you want a good walk-around camera that stabilizes and you get to choose what you're filming because you can see the screen and it's good bloody quality, it's very, very sharp. You probably want like the DJI Pocket 2, right? If you want to film at night, like you see me doing crazy shit, that's the A7S, right? That's night, yeah? And if you want to be having something on your head so you don't have to worry about what you're doing and you could be turning anywhere and doing whatever you're doing or climbing up a building or crawling through somewhere. Remember I went right on the Salisbury Plain, I was crawling through those tunnels and I had this camera on my head and they were all going, it looks terrible, because it wasn't high res and it was noisy because it was dark. And it looks terrible. Well, it's better than having a GoPro because a GoPro would be like this. So, you know, you just got to... People don't realise, you know, it would have looked a lot shitter if I'd had a GoPro on my head. So, yeah. But that's it. So hopefully you've learned something and, yeah.
It was very enjoyable. Great.
So we will try and do something when I get the new lens, because I've got the new version of this, which you plug lenses on. This is one of the lenses. This is like a GoPro. And it's as shit as a GoPro. It's got the same sensor as a GoPro. It's got much better stability, but it's got the same sensor as a GoPro. So this is shit. This is what comes with it. It's a cheap lens. Then you take that off and you put on their good 1-inch sensor. And that can see much, much darker. So I'm going to test that one out. And I'm going to compare that with my A7S. And I'm going to do a side-by-side and say, look, A7S... and the low light sensor on this, and can you get away with stuff? I might even put the Pocket 3, you know, so I'll walk around with 3 cameras. I'll put it on a rig, and I'll say A7S, DJI Pocket 2, and the 1-inch sensor on the Insta 360, which is not a 360. It's actually a front-facing lens, so it's not none of this turn the camera around stuff you talking about tonight. This is literally like a GoPro. It's one lens, it points forward, you know, but it is stabilized. It is a very good stabilization. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, right, 3 forward facing cameras here. Okay, you've got the best low light, that's the 1-inch sensor, not this one. The 1-inch sensor is coming. Yeah, best low light in a small form factor that can go on your head. You're going to have the best quality next sort of stabilized handheld one that's handheld, and then you're going to have the super low light of the A7S, and then you're going to see what they can do for you, and you're going to have to decide if it's what sort of application you need, which is why I carry these 3 cameras with me. I've got the A7S and the big stabilizer, and it's heavy. Yeah,
it is.
and that's for really low light. But when I don't need that, when I don't need it, I switch back to using this now because it's very light and it saves my arm from hurting, you know. And then when I've got to climb up stuff, I can either put this in my mouth and just about get away with it by putting that in my mouth, or I'll be putting this new 1-inch sensor Insta lens system. So I'll do that. When I get that, I'll be doing a video comparing like for like. And of course, daylight is different to nighttime. So all of this changes, you know. It's like the A7S, well, you don't really need to worry about that now. You can just use the DJI Pocket. So, and you don't really need the 1-inch sensor then. You can just like, you know, so it's like we you know, you've got to realize the circumstances you need to use these cameras in, the types of filming you're going to do. Like me on a boat will be like no A7, no DJI Pocket. It's got to be the 360. You know, so it's different cameras for different purposes. So we'll be doing a little bit more exploration on that one in the future, and I will try putting the 360 camera on the dog. And what we could do is I'll put two cameras on it. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll put two cameras on the dog. Although I don't have to really. What I can do is I can turn the stabilization off on that camera to simulate what you'd see with a GoPro. I could put a GoPro and that one on the dog, but it's going to be overkill. And I can say, well, there's a GoPro and there's this one. And I go, look, click. Now this one's stable. And let's look at the GoPro side by side. You say, oh, the GoPro's going like this now, and the horizon's going like this, and then that one will be just locked on solid. So I could do both, but to be honest, all I have to do is just turn the stabilization off, and you'll see what a GoPro would look like. It will look shit. So yeah. So we'll see. But there we are. So Leanna Basley says, be right back. Got to get my boyfriend lunch ready for him to take to work. Okay, well, you go do that. So let's see what people are saying in the channel before we say absolute goodbye. But there we are. They're saying Matt's PayPal is blah, 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 blah. Yes, don't forget, folks, the more money you send, the more crazy cameras I'm going to buy. So just send it. It will get spent immediately on crazy cameras. So just send it. We know how to spend it. We're very good at spending it. So, yeah. But I am gonna, the next thing I'm gonna spend money on is I'm gonna, even though I've got a crazy computer, I'm gonna go super duper crazy times 10 computer, I think is the next thing. So because I'm not getting the most out of this big graphics card I just bought. It's actually got a bottleneck running in this system. It's not much faster than the old graphics card I had in it.
Well, if you think you're okay for a couple of years camera wise, you don't. You don't need to buy anything, just upgrade that instead.
That's right, yeah. I mean, the biggest thing that holds me back is the speed it takes to render and edit. So if I make that easy, you know, it's like saying, would I like to have a small sort of like Vauxhall Corsa, or would I like to have a Porsche or a Mercedes that can do 160 miles an hour? Or I was about a Learjet. I think I'll go for the Learjet. Whoosh. You know, I need it because it's just like stuff I'm doing with all this noise cleaning. It takes bloody hours. It took 30 hours to do that 3D footage the other night, you know. 30 hours of rendering. Doing anaglyph cyan red, you know, and then I had to do a side-by-side, just like we are on the screen, two screens, but like one is left eye, one is right eye, you know, it's like do that. And I had to do a third one, which is the 2D version, because people go like, what's all this shit? So I had to do 3 versions. One for the red green glasses users, one for the proper shutter glasses users, the 3D, and one for the we ain't got no glasses, just leave us alone, give us just normal quality, you bastard. Yeah, so I got to do one for them as well. So yeah, it's 30 hours rendering. But you know, I'm determined to experiment with these sort of formats, you know, for certain, not every film, but you know, certain locations. Just nice to get them in like 3D or 360 and, you know, just give that immersive kind of extra little bit of fun, you know.
Can't wait to see more.
Yeah. So there we go, folks. So we're going to head out then. Any final words, Cyrus? Have you got a channel or anything you want to promote? Or
I have. It's just not ready yet, and I'm going out on a big explore on the 5th, so something after that.
Well, it sounds like you've got studios sort of experience, and if your mate's into the big cameras and stuff, I'm expecting big things from your channel, then.
Hopefully.
Fingers crossed, eh? You'd blow us all away, make me look like a complete Welsh valley boy tosser.
Oh, just before I do go, I was thinking of getting myself a little drone. Only 500 to 700 quid. So, little quick question. 500 to 700.
Oh, you're sorry. I thought you were going to ask me. So a particular one. You were asking which one. If you've not flown drones before and you think you might crash it and you're worried about it, I would always air for a newbie, possibly thinking about something like the Mavic Mini. You don't need a license from the CAA, so you don't have to go giving him all your details and all that sort of crap. Yeah. So you're under the radar in that respect. Then, yeah. They're quiet, so they're inobtrusive, and they're small, so they go in your backpack. The bigger the drone, the more weight you got in your back, So you got a camera, you got your drone, you got the controller. It starts to add up, yeah. So if you got a little light drone, and it's small, that's like a backpack. You got to think about these things. So if you want to go up to something else and you're an explorer, there's two ways you can go. It's going to be Mavic 2, right? Don't bother with the Air. Don't bother with the Sparks. They're all shit. Yeah, I mean, they're cut downs. They're cut downs of the real thing. You're either going to get a Mavic 2, right, Pro. The Pro has a Hasselblad lens, but it's not really a Hasselblad lens because the bloody thing's bent. It's bent. So you have to correct that in post. Yeah, that's if you want the 10-bit color. If you don't care about sacrificing the 10-bit color and just using standard old 8-bit, it corrects the image for you. But I thought Hasselblad lenses were supposed to be bloody good lenses, so why are they making you correct the image in post? That's bullshit. Yeah. So that is a letdown, right? That is a big letdown on a 10-bit camera to have to be buggering around and stretching images to make it look right later on. Now, for an explorer or an urbexer, the biggest thing for me is you do not want to let people know you're there, right? So if you've got the Mavic 2, which has a fixed focal length, a fixed zoom lens, yeah, in order to film properly, you've got to come right down close, yeah. So everyone knows what you're doing because you have to fly right close to things. So if you wanna like find out, where's the cameras, where's security cameras, where's the security hut, where's the best place to get in? Can I get in there? Can I get in here? You're going all around the place to hunt it out, yeah? So that's not the camera for you. That's not the drone for you. If you want a drone that you can be stealthy, it's the Zoom, the Mavic 2 Zoom. You don't put it in 4K, you put it in 2K. And in 2K, it has a special mode where when you zoom in, it keeps zooming and zooming and zooming, and it maintains the quality. It's actually, I've seen videos, because I couldn't believe it myself. I thought, I don't want a zoom lens on a bloody drone. Why would I want that? Trust me, it zooms and it doesn't lose the quality. It just zooms and zooms and zooms and zooms. Massive distance. I use it all the time. I can be way up there. You can't hear me or see me. And I'm like a police helicopter. I'm like, zoom, and I'm reading your newspaper. It's like, bang. So from up there, I can do what I got to do without getting close. So nobody really knows that I'm coming in there later on. Yeah, I'm going to come in your compound, or I'm going to come in your whatever. Yeah, because they can't really tell what I'm doing. And if they see you flying off in the distance, they don't think you're interested. When you come close to something, you're going, I'm coming in here later on. If you go close to it, you own it. Yeah, that's you. You're coming in there later. They know what you're up to. Whereas if you fly a zoom, you can be half a mile away. And you can just zoom in, and you can get all that information you need from far away. It's like a little like it's one of these like stealth Reaper things. They fire missiles from a long distance. They don't get close. They do that from way away. It's like that sort of effect. You zoom in from way away, and you stay away from what you're trying to film, and that's it. And then if it's safe to come close, you can go close. But I think there's much more. I don't use my Mavic 2 now, even though it's got the 10-bit color and that bent image, which I don't like. Yeah, I haven't used it in 9 months, 10 months, I probably won't use it. I might even sell it. It's of no use to me. That zoom function, just the zoom,
Changes everything.
is everything. It's a game changer.
Do you use it would you use it just for natural film and stuff?
I use it every single time. Because there's one more thing that a zoom does that the other one doesn't. It's called foreshortening. It's a bit like the vertigo effect. You see it used in horror movies where they zoom in and as they walk towards, they zoom back. Yeah? As they walk towards, they zoom the camera back, and as they go back, they zoom the camera in. And what it does, if you imagine when you normally take off in a normal drone, right? In the distance, it's going to be a speck. It's going to be like this, right? And that's going to be like a skyscraper, and it's going to be back here. Skyscraper is going to be here, and the object you're looking at is like this, and a skyscraper in the distance will be like that, right? And it's so small you can't see it. So what it is, if you zoom in, this object only zooms a bit when it's close. So the object that's close will zoom a bit closer, but this shoots up really close in the distance. It goes zoom, and it comes up. So what you now have is, whereas this would have been a speck you can't see, and let's face it, when you're flying with a drone, anything in the distance is a speck, right? Everything you're looking at is a speck. Unless you come right on top of it and you're literally hugging it, everything's a speck with most drones, except with the zoom. Because the zoom can zoom, it brings things that are small and it brings them up. So, okay, so you've got a person walking like this, you can bring that speck of a hotel or something in the distance, you can make the hotel become like that behind them. So they're this big and the hotel's behind them like that. Okay, you got a person like that. You got the moon, right? The moon is like this behind them. Moon's like this, little speck. With the zoom, you can get the moon like that behind the person, or like that behind the person. You can make the moon big behind the person. That's the only way you're ever going to get that shot. You are never going to get that shot any other way, because if you come close to the person, so you're like that, you're in front of their face, you're like a foot away from their face, it's dangerous, yeah, for a start, yeah, and the moon is still a speck in the distance. You're never going to make the moon come, it don't matter, you can come close to the person, you go further away, the moon's always going to be a speck. So you have to zoom in on the distant object and then place the person in respect to that. So it's this thing called foreshortening. You bring the background in with the foreground. You bring it up to the same size as the foreground, and that's the only way you can do it is with zoom lenses. So that's another good feature of it, you know, and it does work actually. I mean, I've had like the sun behind Nab Tower. Go and have a look at the Nab Tower footage, and there's the sun is up there. If you actually look carefully, you see I zoom. You see the lens zooming, and then I line up the shot, and it's the sun behind us on the boat. So the sun is like that, and the boat's like that, yeah? Well, that shot would have been like this. It would have been like a speck, like at the tip of my thing like this, yeah? It'd have been a speck like that back here. That would have been the sun, and there would have been the boat like that, which would look shit. But now, the sun is like that above the boat, which looks great, because I brought the sun up, you know. It's the difference between good shots and shit shots, you know. So the zoom really does, even though it doesn't have 10-bit color, and they could have made it have 10-bit color, to be honest. They were just being tight asses, you know. But yeah, it makes a massive difference for composing your shot. Makes a massive difference. So yeah. Anyway.
Very much.
There we are. I would say get a second-hand zoom or get a zoom. And if you're going to buy one brand new, make sure you get the refresh insurance from DJI, because you can crash your drone 2 times and they'll send you a new drone. As long as you've got the parts of the drone and you put them in a Jiffy envelope and send them the parts, they send you a new drone. It's insurance for your drone.
You have to get that as soon as you buy it.
You have to get it within a few days of buying the drone. If you don't take up the offer within a couple of days of buying the drone, you're no longer eligible. So do it straight away. And if you buy it from DJI, you know, you'll get all those offers will come through. If you get it, you know, if it's in the paperwork, when you buy it from somewhere else, you might ignore the paperwork and forget it. But when you buy it from DJI, they'll remind you, you know, like, get this, you need it. So yeah, it's worth it, because if you're new to it and you don't know what you're doing, the chances are that you are going to fly into something. Even with all these sensors to stop you flying into things, you can still fly into things, you know. So it's a good idea, you know, save you crying over the fact you've spent 1,500 quid on a drone and then you just smashed it into a tree and bye 1,500 quid. You know, for an extra 100 quid, you know, you got a drone. Well, it's 100 quid you pay up front, and then to get the drone replaced the first time, I think it's £25, and after that it's £75 next time if you fuck up again. So
That's not bad, though. It's not a small price to pay.
it is a small price to pay, and it, you know, they don't mess about as well. It's quick return. I smashed one up once, and they did send it back very quick. And you know, if it was another insurance policy with like Currys would try and repair it, and then you're going to have a botched job because they don't know what they're doing. So, you know, it's not going to be a good idea. Get it sent back to the proper, you know, company and get it done properly.
With it. Well,
Yeah.
thanks for your advice once again.
Okay, well, glad to be of help. And so we'll just double check if there's any emergency messages. What have I been doing to my head? Well, I don't know. Has it fixed it? Has it gone better now? Is it? I don't know. I just got some sort of like mark across the side of my head. I don't know, it's a varicose vein or something. I don't know. Getting old, I think it is.
Shadow, and just blame it on the shadow.
Yeah, it's just shadow. It's bloody webcam it is. It seems to sort of like, you know, it just makes like these red cheeks. They, you know, I can't see that in a mirror. I can't see that. But like this thing, it seems to sort of see blood. It must have been, it was a webcam invented for vampires. So they could see the blood in their victims, so they could decide who to sort of like attack. Like, oh look, he's got loads of blood in his cheeks, we'll have him, you know. But it's a webcam for vampires, right? Because it sees spots and it sees red blood, yeah. And I can't see it because it's not there. It's like it must be picking up infrared or something. Anyway, somebody's probably telling me to piss off, telling me something. Oh, what's this sound? Oh. Bozbox sent me $50. Oh yeah, bloody hell! I never even spotted that. Bozbox, $50. Oh my god! Doom, 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 doom. Thank you very much, Bozbox. What? There's no message with it though. No message, just $50. That's crazy. Well, you know it'll get spent on crazy cameras. It definitely gets spent on crazy cameras. So thank you. That was Luke. LK Computers sent me that. What a nice chap Luke is for telling me. Thank you. So, yeah. So there we go, folks. If you want me to do a review of something that I've got and explain it better, I don't think I've ever really gone through the A7S properly, to be honest. I've never done my night, how to operate it at night, and there is a trick to doing it. I can tell you very quickly, it's PP7 profile mode. That's the magic trick, okay? And the lens you use.
Camera for just any fucking herb explorers, really.
It is a good camera, yeah. But to get that really, really crazy dark, you know, like shit, you have to put it in the log PP7 S-Log 2 mode, and then it sees in the dark with grain, because it would be a much nicer, cleaner image if I didn't use that mode. But that's the mode for the low light, and it sees in low light with a bit of grain. But that's what I use. But you know, I could go through like, oh, you can have nice colours and it'll look great, you know, use this one. But look, see, turn it down dark, it don't work so well. You know, it's like PP7. Ooh, now you can see stuff that wasn't there before, but it is a bit noisy. But I don't give a shit about noise as long as I can see in the dark. So it's like, you know, it's one of those, isn't it? It's a trade-off. So yeah, I should maybe do one of those if you want to see a
100% do that.
I mean, it's not a masterclass for how to film, like, you know, great stuff in the daylight. This is a masterclass for an urbexer, you know.
You can get one for £500 now, so, and that's a decent price for people sort of can afford.
Second-hand A7S, shoots 2K.
Obviously, you won't go lens with it, but
Yeah. Well, to be honest, I say put an adapter on it and get one of these. This is a Canon lens on a Sony. Get the adapter, costs 20 quid. this lens, right? They want 475 quid for this lens at the moment, right? It beats anything. Canon, Sony do not produce anything of this wideness with this sharpness, yeah? And you can get them for the Canon for, I think it's about 200 quid now. 200 quid, right?
You get the camera, you get the mount.
If you get the one that's got the Sony mount on it, 475 quid.
Yeah,
Literally for having a different back end mount on it.
That's also, yeah.
So you get the Canon one and you just get the 20 quid adapter. Job done. Does exactly the same thing.
Mounts for different lenses, but
yeah. So I mean, you know, yeah, I mean that's a 200 quid lens. I mean, you're going to spend 75 to 100 on a kit lens. Shit, for a camera like this. You know, you're going to get a kit lens like that. You know, standard Sony kit lens. You know, like it's got a bit of zoom on it, and it's just shit, and it's really dark. It's got, you know, just you know, I would say if you're starting off, 500 quid for an A7S. An adapter, and put an old camera lens off one of your old cameras, like an old 20 quid lens on it. Works great, and they're really bright. They see in the night. 1.7 f. That's bright as hell. That is. You know. Anyway, we should talk about this at length in another video, I think, because it's
another video.
It's a very detailed field, and you can get into this dark night photography stuff without spending much money. You don't have to have the A7 III. You don't even have to have the A7 II. You can have the A7 I, because if all you need is 2K, the only really difference between that and the A7S II is 4K. That's it. Forget the stabilizer in it. You don't need it. If you're on a gimbal, you don't need the stabilizer. So you don't need that stabilizer. You don't. So anyway, I'm giving you the quick thing. 500 quid, as Cyrus said. 500 quid, bang, you got the camera. 20 quid, you got an adapter. You can put Pentax lenses on it, old camera lenses. Pentax, Chinon, Canon, Fuji, Prince Flex, Leica, anything.
Put them on, yeah.
You can get camera lenses like that free. You can get old cameras, 35mm cameras, windy cameras, yeah. You can get those free. You can walk past shops and they've got them in the window, 20, 30 quid lenses. Yeah, you can go past cash converters. They'll have like 20 quid lenses. You could go in and you could barter them down. Oh, that lens, mate. You know, oh, yeah, I'm not paying 30 quid for that. Oh, go on then, 20 quid. Bang, that lens will see at night on that camera. You know what I mean? It's like you do not have to spend loads of money to get into this stuff. And then later on, when you got the money, when you saved up a bit more money, take it off, put another better lens on. But to get you going, you can get a 20 quid lens on there, on a 500 quid A7S night, season night camera. So it does not have to break the bank.
Doesn't.
Yeah. There we go, folks. Well,
great.
On that note, yeah.
See you again.
So I think we're definitely going this time. And thank you, Bazbox, whoever you are. Bozbox. Sorry, Bozbox. I have no idea who Bozbox is. But send us an email, Bozbox. me@thematthewwilliams.com. Send us an email, and yeah, just send us an email, and I'll thank you in person. Okay, so thank you very much. So what are they saying? Yeah, we're all going. So Cyrus, right, get your channel up, and then come back on and tell us about your channel in the future, or come into the Facebook and tell us about your stuff.
Will do.
They're all saying good. They don't believe I'm going to go, see, because I've done half an hour since I said I was going to go. See. That's like a goodbye for me is half an hour. Bye. Half an hour later. Bye. Right, okay, I'm going this time. It really is happening. Cheers, Cyrus. All the best, mate. Thanks. Bye.